our Chief Scientific Advisor will now update us on where we are. Over to you, Patrick.
Thank you. So we've looked all along at SAGE at measures that can save lives and protect people. The objectives, as I laid out last time, are to really suppress the curve in order to keep it below NHS capacity so that the NHS can cope, and to shield the vulnerable and those most likely to get severe disease so that we protect them across this period. Most people, it's worth reminding us, have a mild disease, but some do not. This is a very fast-moving situation. The latest numbers that we reviewed at SAGE suggest that we're entering a fast growth period or on the cusp of doing so, and London is ahead of other parts of the country. We at the outset laid out a plan and advised that we would implement it, the measures, at the right stage and in the right combination to ensure that we get the biggest impact. Unfortunately, that time is now for many of these measures. What we're doing is implementing them actually at a stage of the epidemic which is a little bit earlier than has been done in some other countries, given where we are in terms of the epidemic now. The measures have two objectives. One is to delay the transmission of this virus across the community, and the second is to keep people safe. The measures, as the Prime Minister has outlined, include whole household isolation. So if one person gets the symptoms of new persistent cough or fever, the whole household stays isolated for 14 days. The reason it's 14 days is the 7 days for the person who's got the infection, the incubation period that others may catch it, and the 7 days after that. We're also recommending increased social distancing. That's the phrase that you hear, which means trying to reduce contact between people, again, to try to delay this transmission. That means where businesses can do it and where individuals can do it, home working is recommended. Unnecessary travel should be reduced and stopped. Avoiding gatherings in crowded places is important, and those gatherings, big or small, are important so that you get the whole thing together. It's not just the size of a gathering, it's actually all gatherings which become important. And reducing social contacts. There are specific measures for the vulnerable groups, the people who are most likely to get serious illness with this infection, and Chris Whitty will say more about that. Those measures would need to go on for 12 weeks or so across this period, maybe a little longer. These measures, like case isolation that we talked about last week, staying at home if you've got the symptoms, these new measures have a big effect. This is not a series of small interventions. You would anticipate that this could have a dramatic effect to reduce the peak and to reduce death rate. They are not easy, but they are important, and they will have the effect if we all do it. This is a matter for us to take accountability, to make sure we help each other, protect ourselves, and protect the NHS. It is also possible, as laid out in the plan, that other measures may be necessary, including at some point, as we've said, it may be necessary to think about things like school closures, but those things, again, need to be done at the right time, in the right way, at the right stage of the outbreak. I'll hand over to Chris.